everyone, welcome to my So You Want to Make a Bra video tutorials. In this video we're going to look at how to measure yourself for a bra pattern to make a start on getting the right size. Hopefully by now you will have sorted out your wire size by following one of my previous tutorials. It really is the vital first step in getting a fabulously flattering and comfortable bra. But I'm going to be talking about how to take the measurements that you'll need to come up with a bra size, a bra pattern size rather, and unfortunately knowing your wire size is certainly not going to help you in any way determining your pattern size. So now that you have that information, you're going to need to put it aside for a minute and we'll look at the ways of measuring yourself to come up with a bra pattern for you. So the first rule of bra pattern sizing is forget all about ready-to-wear sizing. Your ready-to-wear size has got absolutely nothing to do with the size, well it might have by coincidence, but it doesn't really help you in determining what size pattern you're going to want to start with. The chances are anyway that your ready-to-wear size isn't quite right for you, because if it were and you're perfectly happy with it, you probably wouldn't be wanting to make your own bras. And the other thing is that ready-to-wear sizing is unreliable. I'm sure you've realised that or come across the example where different brands come up different sizes, and sometimes even different styles within the same brand you would have need to had a different size. So in any case, most of the popular designers are from North America. And North American bra sizing is really quite different from the UK bra sizing. Therefore, even if you went with your UK size, it wouldn't work properly because it's North American sizing in bra patterns. I think that rule number 2 of finding your bra pattern size is be careful if you ask on social media. I know it's tempting to jump on a Facebook group that deals with bra making and think, well, they'll know the answer to this. If you post a question on social media saying, I am a 36G in ready to wear, what size pattern should I buy? You will get umpteen different answers and suggestions. In most cases, it's because anybody who answers you is probably only speaking from their own experience. They can only tell you what has or hasn't worked for them. Not that I'm suggesting that anybody's deliberately trying to mislead you, but apart from anything else, you have no way of knowing what their experience is. How many patterns have they actually tried? How have they measured themselves? It's like asking on a sewing group, what's the best overlocker to buy? Somebody that's only ever used a baby lock overlocker is going to answer you and say, oh, baby lock's the best. So it's far better to get this information straight from the horse's mouth. In other words, choose a pattern that you like the look of and read the bra designer's instructions on how to measure yourself for their pattern. Pattern designers have their own preferred method of measuring and sizing and so on. No one method is necessarily better than any other. The thing is that they have drafted their pattern according to the sizing that they like to use. And so the only way you're going to come in even close is by following their particular instructions. But one thing they all have in common is that they all suggest or strongly advise that you take whatever measurements you need whilst wearing a well-fitting bra. Now I know most of us immediately think, if I had a well-fitting bra, I wouldn't be making my own. But it really just means the best fitting bra that you've got, one that's not too squishy, doesn't squeeze you too much, one that's not too big, one where the wire is relatively comfortable. It's because the best way to take measurements is when your breasts are in the position that you want them to be in when you're wearing the bra that you're trying to make, i.e. uplifted and supported in some way. Obviously you don't want to be wearing a padded bra when you do this, because even if you're intending to make a padded bra, you're automatically going to be starting off with a size that's too big for you anyway, because you've measured over the padding and not just your breast tissue. So if you're not wearing a bra when you take the measurements, then gravity is going to take over, and your breasts are not necessarily going to be at their best advantage when you take these measurements. So wear a bra, the most comfortable one you can find, or if you have an accommodating friend who's willing to stand behind and lift them up, that's up to you. But that's the best way to take the measurements. Okay, so rather than just keep on talking, even though I like talking, as you may have established, rather than just keep on talking about cup depth and horizontal hemispheres and rib cage measurements and so on and so forth, so it's probably more useful if I talk you through the measurements, the different measuring systems, using my lovely friend Norma that you may have seen before, and to show you how the most popular designers out there want you to take the measurements that you need for their patterns. Naturally, I'm going to start off with the method used for the Pin-Up Girl patterns by Beverly Johnson, not just because those are the patterns that I sell, but because those are the ones that I'm most familiar with. And the patterns in this range are the classic, the Shelley, the Ruby, Ingrid, Sweet 16 bralette, and that kind of thing. You've probably heard of them. The measurement for this range of patterns is the BCD measurement, the bottom cup depth. So just what is the bottom cup depth? It's the measurement from the apex, aka the nipple, down to the inframammary crease under here. Lots of people describe it as being the measurement down to the wire line, which it is, but unless you've got the correct size wire in the bra that you're wearing when you're trying this on, don't take that as gospel. Use your fingers and kind of feel where that spot is where your breast tissue joins your rib cage. It's a bit fiddly. You're trying to kind of do this and be under here, and you can't see what you're doing because it's underneath your breast. So I find the best way of taking this measurement is this way. Put the tape measure over your shoulder and then hope it stays there. And then take the end of the tape measure down to here, and you can feel, as I've said, when you're doing it, you can feel that you're in the right spot under there. And then you can just let the tape measure follow the natural swell of your breast. Don't pull it tight, because then you're going to squish yourself. Okay, so it should be directly under your nipple in a straight line, down there, and then just take the measurement where that comes to there. Okay, so that's the bottom cup depth, and it takes into account the swell of the breast. So if you're bottom heavy in your breasts, it will be shown up in this measurement, and if you've got more breast tissue in the top here, then that will still kind of give an accurate measurement, or an idea at least, of the volume that you need for the bottom of your breast. So that's the bottom cup measurement, bottom cup depth, sorry. And then in the Pin-Up Girls patterns, the only other measurement that you need is your rib cage measurement, which literally is your rib cage directly under the breast, and pull it snug. Don't pull it so tight that you can't breathe, obviously, but pull it nice and snug so that, and if possible, don't get your fingers underneath. Don't measure like this, because that will be your rib cage measurement plus the width of your fingers. So try and keep the tape measure as smooth as you can, and that's your band measurement, literally your band measurement. Obviously they go in even numbers, so if you're between sizes, I usually suggest to go up, because it's easier to later on make a band shorter once you're doing the fitting for your bra than it is to try and guess how much longer to make it. So for a Pin-Up Girls pattern, those are the two measurements that you need. Now, Lily Pad Designs, she uses the bottom cup depth measurement, and obviously the rib cage measurement just the same. But she adds another measurement in on her patterns, which is the horizontal hemisphere, which all sounds very astronomy-fied, but basically it's the measurement from the wire line at the centre front to the wire line at the side, straight across. So you pop your tape measure there, it goes straight across to the other side, and that's your measurement there. And so then you would look on her chart where those two measurements coincide, and that's going to be your size on her patterns. Whether you measure in inches or centimetres, obviously it's up to you what you feel most comfortable with. Most North Americans deal in inches, as we used to do, and I still do, inches and fractions of an inch. But I think just about everybody gives you a metric conversion chart in their pattern measurements, and if not, you can obviously look it up, or simply turn your tape measure over, of course. So then when it comes to designers such as Orange Lingerie, Cloth Habit and Emerald Erin, they do the system whereby you take the full bust measurement. So come round to the fullest part of the bust. Obviously this is much more tricky when it's like that. And again, snug, so don't have loads of fingers underneath there to give extra ease, because the bra is very close fitting. Snug but not tight. There's no point in making it tight because you'll just end up with a bra that's too small and have to start again. So take that measurement, kind of horizontally, don't let your tape measure drop down, and then your rib cage measurement, as we took just now, you take this measurement from that measurement, and that gives you the cup size for those patterns, and they give you a chart of what each measurement corresponds to in terms of their cup size. There's just one more measurement that you might come across, more likely if you're doing pattern drafting, if you're having a go at drafting your own bra pattern, that you might hear bandied about, and that's the high mound measurement. And this measurement is this measurement around here. You can find it by running your fingers along your rib cage, and then you will feel where suddenly this becomes breast tissue. So at that point you measure around here. You're going to need to do it with your tape measure on edge to get it to come round, but that would be the high mound measurement. So you simply slide your hands down until it stops being ribs and starts to be breast tissue directly above the nipple, and that measurement around there is the high mound measurement. I don't know that there's any actual pattern designers that refer to that. As I said, it's mostly when you're doing drafting, but if you do hear it mentioned, you'll at least now have some idea of what that is. So once you've got all the required measurements, you're going to have the starting point for your first bra. But please don't despair if after all your efforts to get the wire size right and working out the measurements that you need to determine the pattern size, don't despair if your first bra doesn't fit. Measurements can only, no matter how accurate they can only take you so far, because breasts are 3D, measurements are 2D. And the only way to find out if a pattern is the right shape for you is to make it up. And then you need to learn how to make fitting alterations if necessary. And these are the topics that I cover in Series 2. So I hope that's been helpful and clarified a little bit of not only where the measurements are that you're supposed to be taking, but the best way to take them and the most accurate way to take them. And if you have enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, please click on like, and also click subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you very much.